We've lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading about.
It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
What's up, dudes?
Hey, everybody.
It's Monday. It's just after 8 o'clock. You are tuned in to the Drive-In Speakerbox. I don't know what time it is when you're listening to it on your podcast, but right now, right here live is it's Monday night, 8 o'clock. And if you're new, fresh listener, we're going to be talking about movies. We're going to be talking about movies for the next hour and some change.
Yeah.
And
you know what movies we're going to talk about? You know what time it is? To keep talking about Fast and Furious, man. Check this out. I got any brew I want as long as it's a Corona. Shout out to a fan of the show, Carl.
yeah, so
Preach.
per last week's episode, the Grip brought in some Coronas in celebration of Fast and Furious, and one of our viewers decided to stop by the old studio and bring another 6-pack of Coronas for the Grip. But me, I'm going to be drinking this ice-cold Mighty Swell. Head over heels with watermelon mint. Mighty Swell. God, I don't have a catchphrase for it, but
you know one thing.
White Claw can eat it.
So I can get Fast and Furious out of the way and out of the system, and you can move on with our show, is when Vin Diesel was like, you can have any brew you want as long as it's a Corona. That's also like a car inside thing, based on what Henry Ford had said when he made his cars on his assembly line. You can have any color you want as long as it's black.
Well,
how about that? More insider car knowledge to make you enjoy Fast and Furious even more than you already do.
yeah, of course. Well, speaking of things I just can't get enough of, did you guys hear about the sequel planned for Venom with Andy Circus set to be in control, man? Everyone's favorite CGI.
Like directing the movie?
Yeah, he's going to direct the sequel to Venom. And if you're not familiar with Andy Serkis's work, he made big name for himself as Gollum, and then became the guy in the green screen with ping pong balls taped all over his body for many, many, many films. And now he's a director, and it's a thing. We're getting a Venom sequel, guys. We're getting one. We're getting the thing that we all needed.
Out of all of those Jungle Book movies that all came out in the last 2 years, 3 years, whatever it was, and they were all very not good.
Yeah.
His was the best one out of them, even though it had like that highly stylized look to all of the animals, but that was so that their faces could move as human as possible. And actually, it wasn't that bad. It was the Netflix one.
Oh, yeah. I kind of vaguely remember. I got lost in a sea of Jungle Books. Jungle anthologies there for a little bit, and they all kind of blended together as like snakes and Bagheeras and Mowglis and, King Louis and what else? Other characters that we all remember.
And that were ruined by live action.
Speaking of live action ruining things, The Lion King, everybody, we've gotten that out of us. So we've talked about that. You can check out previous episodes where we talk about that. But did you see? There's a video floating around the internet where a guy does a deep fake. And if you guys are new to the internet, deep fakes are like this new. It's a new software algorithm. And there was a guy that did deep nudes as well, and he got in a lot of trouble. But the deep fakes, it's like it will go through and do facial replacement stuff, and on full motion videos. It's when they did the Full House thing.
Have you seen the one with Ron Swanson's face on
everyone in Full House?
Yeah.
But this one, they went back and used deep fakes to put cartoon faces on all the CGI Lion Kings, and it actually looks good. It looks like it should have been.
They can't do anything about the terrible
rest of the movie
re-recordings of all of the songs.
But it was kind of fun. Anyway, yeah.
Someone should go in and edit out all of the that they do in the movie. That'll cut out that extra 30-minute runtime
Well,
right
it's
there.
like when George Lucas felt like he needed to do that with, like, they replaced Lopty Neck with Jedi rocks.
Oh, no, awful.
And
Let's never talk about that again.
That hamster monster that just came in and went, oh, just like that for
yeah, we remember.
needless moments that we all can't seem to forget. Other things that people can't seem to forget, and other Disney-related monopoly moves in their acquisition of 20th Century Fox and all the Fox properties, they thought it'd be a good idea to try and reboot, again, Home Alone.
Wait, Fox owned Home Alone?
Yeah, that was a Fox property. It was
at the very beginning, because I thought it was like a.
It was in their library. They had
it was
the
like
rights
an
to it.
Amblin thing or something.
I think Fox took over that.
Did they take it over when it went to video and you had like the
Well,
Macaulay Culkin kid?
That's the one I was about to mention. You know, it's been attempted to it's been rebat. We're gonna make a new word. It's been rebat several times. I think 4 times they've tried to reboot this franchise, but Disney's like, you know what, we can do it. And they probably can. They can probably take all of our money because they have that marketing power to just make us feel like we have to see a movie for no reason other than it exists.
Or they might do like Adventures in Babysitting and just make it a TV movie instead and make it where no one's ever heard about it and no one will ever care about it.
And it doesn't exist. Yeah, it was just on DVD. Well, see, I think that's a lost thing.
That's pretty good.
One of our YouTube viewers just chimed in and said Disney bought Parker Brothers to own yet another monopoly. That was a good one. But I think the days of that Disney vault where they just schlub all this garbage out to direct to video, which that's not a thing anymore. I mean, they're probably going to start doing that with Disney Plus, but just. I don't know. There was something about getting a DVD of some stupid sequel property and in the backseat of your friend's mom's minivan while they're driving you somewhere and they just want you to shut up. Like it's a different world now. Now they hand you a device and you're just like, well, you figure it out, child.
You want to talk about some news in Disney Plus? What was just hours after we ended the show the other day or Tuesday morning? They announced that Disney Plus would include Hulu and ESPN Plus subscription.
I know, that's monster. That's huge. That is huge.
And it's like $13.
Oh, that's gonna be big, dude.
So if they can figure out a way to pair that up with that Hulu with live TV like I have, that would be pretty cool.
That would be even more monopoly.
It'd be nice to have the ESPN Plus, man, to watch a game every now and then.
Yeah.
Like if some baseball's on that I want to see or some sick b-ball game.
Sick b-ball game. I want to watch sick b-ball where everyone there has like norovirus and they're all running around trying to like clench their butt cheeks so that diarrhea doesn't come spewing out everywhere, and it's like, yo, tune in at ESPN 9 for sick b-ball.
No,
and
dude, the
like,
Ocho. Why would you watch 9? You watch the Ocho.
Well, that's Dodgeball Channel.
Yeah, but they made it a real network.
What? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, for Dodgeball re-release anniversary, they did a what's that charity event? The Omaze. They did an Omaze thing where you could pick which dodgeball team you wanted to be a part of.
Yeah.
You could be Average Joe's or Globo Gym, and whoever won the Omaze thing got to pick which team they wanted to be on, and they got to guest star on the one-day real live broadcasting of ESPN The Ocho.
What? That is the
Yeah.
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That was a real thing, man. You could hang out with Vince Vaughn or Ben Stiller. You got to pick.
Oh, man.
It was like a charity thing.
What?
Schwarzenegger does those Omaze events all the time. You get to smoke cigars and shoot his like tank cannon and throw grenades at stuff.
I may or may not have given money to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I may or may not have given money to that. And
you get to swing the Conan sword.
I also probably may not have given money to be on BoJack Horseman, but we'll see.
That'd be cool to meet like Will Arnett.
Yeah, dude,
and talk to him. Get some hot rod behind the scenes.
Well, they were supposed to animate you in an episode.
Lego Batman
as an animal person.
Stories.
I know. God, I love BoJack Horseman. Anyway, in other weird series news, Amazon still desperate for content that's going to draw people away from the likes of Hulu and Disney Plus and HBO Go and Netflix and all this jazz. Event Horizon, they're looking at doing a horror series. And you know what? Here's the deal. Horror series like Shudder, I am about to jump on board with Shudder because of the Creep Show series release in September. Cannot wait. Actually... How have you've never seen Creep Show, have you? Because it's a spooky one, right?
Yeah, I don't watch creepy things.
You need to watch Creep Show because Creep Show is a horror comedy. It is fun. It is silly. It is goofy. It is. It's not going to spook you out. I promise. I mean, if you need somebody to hold your hand while we watch, like if you need to keep like a favorite blanket or something, like we can keep the light on. And but you need to watch Creep Show, dude.
But I don't like creepy things, though.
Well, then you're definitely not going to like the movie we're going to be reviewing later in the show. We're going to be talking about scary stories to tell in the dark. I went and saw it.
You know what's funny, though? As a kid, I did read all of those.
Well, and I watched the movie.
And I had like 400 Goosebumps books.
And yes, to our YouTube viewer Vince, he said we have talked about this. It's a lot like Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it is, and I'm ready for it. But Event Horizon set to be a series on Amazon. I don't know how I feel about that. That movie kind of exists.
How are you going to have?
How are you? Or Lawrence Fishburne going like, "F this ship." Like, I mean, there's things about Event Horizon that don't need to come back to life.
Wasn't old Larry Fishburne the smart guy in the movie where they're like, there's something crazy and creepy and it's going to murder us on the ship? He's like, all right, pack up, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just didn't work out anyhow. But that's not his fault, whereas normally in the movie, like, we'll just keep going, find out if it kills you. Let me know if you die by screaming into the headset. And they're like, okay.
Let's go. Let's investigate this with our faces.
Yeah, like an alien.
And every like new alien movie they made.
What's this? What's this egg?
What's this alien biology? Let's take our mask off and lick it. And you're like, okay, why did I do that? I'm a brilliant bioscientist that's got the privilege to fly across the cosmos because I'm apparently the smartest of my planet. What a world! It must have been like the Idiocracy world. And they're like, well, he's smart enough to fly a plane. Let's put him in space. Lick an alien. Anyway.
Send all the Brondo with him.
Yeah. Hey, man, you better not let them plants die on board. Take some Brondo.
The whole planet waves goodbye. I love you. Like that.
It's what plants crave.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, speaking of stupid
Mountain Dew thrusters.
Speaking of really stupid things, did you hear about this? And I mean, that was maybe not the most let's say thoughtful segue into this topic, but Universal is delaying indefinitely, which probably not indefinitely, the film The Hunt. And I don't know if you've been following any of this, but
I was in a waiting room the other day and they had old Fox News on TV. Mm-hmm. And there was
ripping
a whole
big
discussion about that. Yeah.
It's funny that Fox News will take the time to talk about banning this movie that is about gun violence, but not actually talk about banning gun violence.
No, well, they were upset because all of the people kidnapped are supposed to be like idiot, right-wing, something or another. I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention.
Gun lovers.
I was playing Washington Mansion.
This movie it's a satire thriller about like wealthy elites hunting groups of kind of poor idiots. And it was supposed to hit theaters next month. Not anymore. And so Universal, they released a quote, and I'll read it to you. It says, quote, while Universal Pictures had already paused the marketing campaign for The Hunt, after thoughtful consideration, the studio has decided to cancel our plans to release this film. They follow with, we stand by our filmmakers and continue to distribute films in partnership with bold and visionary creators, like those associated with this satirical social thriller. But we understand that now is not the right time to release this film. It kind of, you remember when they went and edited out the Twin Towers from Spider-Man?
Yeah,
and then
because the trailer was awesome. He caught the bank robbers in the helicopter between the towers.
Between the two towers. And then after the movie theater shooting, I think it was in Batman Begins, there was like...
it was Returns.
Or Batman, the next one.
Not Returns, Dark Knight.
Dark Knight Rises, or Dark Knight Gets Another Bad Guy Time, or Dark Knight, the Batarang Anthology, whatever. Christopher Nolan. But yeah, like this reactionary, like, well, we better not. Like, actually, you know what? Let's do it. Now is the time to watch a movie like this and go, wait a minute, this just doesn't feel right. And because it doesn't feel right, maybe we should make some change. Don't censor like a movie because it's just like, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't show people shooting other people. It's like, absolutely, now you should show people shooting other people. Because we need to all realize how fucking fucked this all is.
Well, it's just the most dangerous game, but like with teams, right?
Yeah.
The trailer made it
Hunger
look
Games?
like Hunger Games.
We're gonna ban Hunger Games now because Fox News.
Did you straight up like
Mockingjay symbol?
Wow.
You know, but I'm gonna hold this up, but I'm gonna also say like read between the lines.
Do like the Mockingjay whistle thing.
I don't know what to do. Do.
It kind of sounds like the X-Files, like. Yeah, kind of like that.
That's not X-Files. That was
Close Encounters.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Wait,
Aliens.
X-Files was do beep beep.
Oh, okay. I was like, where are you going with that one? Yeah.
Beep beep beep, like beep beep boom 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 boom. Do. Yeah, dude. Beep boop 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 boop. I need more Mighty Swell.
I'm going to find the audio only version of this podcast and clip that out and just play it all the time.
Over just let me do the mouth sound effects to the theme song.
Yeah.
The truth is out there somewhere. Google it. But anyway, so I think this is in weird taste because, you know, not to get super political, but you know, when we censor out things that make us feel weird and feel bad, and it's like we don't. I don't think,
like boobies,
like free the nip, guys. But when we censor ourselves from viewing images that may or may not like make us, you know, uncomfortable or shock us or feel like, ooh, it's comedy. You know, like comedy is such a powerful tool, and right now comedians are having the hardest time ever to approach comedy because it takes a medium of storytelling to take really difficult subjects and make them presentable in a way to where we can all kind of like comfortably consume it, but then when we're done, like, it raises some questions that maybe we can all find common ground on. It's like we're all commonly being entertained by this thing, but now that we're all together being entertained by a thing, we can have maybe a conversation about like real shit. And yes, to McLean on YouTube, definitely missing the music licensing thing with.
So you got to sing pee pee poop. Pee pee poo 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 pee.
Yeah, there it is. So Dina says, anti-censorship brigade here. I was trained by the Constitution and Jello Biafra. Yes, so, you know, anti-censorship. Like, you know, I think people should be allowed to self-censor. You know, it's like if you don't want to see it, don't look at it. Like,
you know that trauma movies are a thing?
Yeah.
How can anything get censored when trauma movies don't get made?
And the thing is, the more you censor something, the more the people want it. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't do this. Don't push that red button. And everyone's like, oh, God, why? Why is it that important that I can't? Now I gotta do it. You know? Now I gotta look at it. I gotta taste it. I gotta try it. I gotta just do it.
Maybe if someone tells you not to taste something, you should follow that advice a little bit.
Be like, this is just too much flavor for humans to handle.
No.
We must ban it.
If they're like, hey, that's raw sewage.
No.
Taste that. And you're
no, that's like not something that like, it's just like, no, this is this flavor that we initially prepared. Like, just think about it. What if Doritos even did this as a marketing scheme? Remember when they put it in a silver bag and they go, this is an untested mystery flavor that is just so incredible that we haven't come up with a name for it. We're not going to tell you what it tastes like, how it will affect your body, but we're going to put it on store shelves in a silver bag labeled flavor number 8 or whatever. And it sold 1 trillion bags.
Is that one of the ones that where they use that cooking oil that made everyone have butt leaks?
Olestra?
Yeah. Did you know where I was going with that?
Yes.
Yeah. You remember when they made all those chips with that?
Yes, because I made my friend shit his pants.
You didn't even have to do it. It was passive.
Oh my
you
God.
had anal leakage. The stuff would fall out of your butt whether you were doing anything or not because
Dude,
chips.
It was like, oh my God.
Why not use a better example like Airheads when they're like mystery flavor? It's just all of them mixed together. It's the leftovers, man.
Olestra is my favorite substance. Like, I miss that shit. Like Olestra Pringles, because that was how I did it. I made my friend shit himself because I bought Olestra Pringles, and I knew it was gonna happen. It was just like when Atkins was really big at the beginning, and then sucralose was really new to our diet. Splenda wasn't really a thing yet, and they used sugar alcohol, and a lot of that, like, you know, sugar-free shit had a lot of sugar alcohol in it. When you're trying to do like no carbs and no sugar at all, and then you plow down on a bag full of, like, you know, sugar alcohol Reese's cups, you're gonna diarrhea your britches. And anyway, Olestra, like, once you pop, the fun don't stop in a Pringle. And I was like, yo, here's some cans of Pringles, let's watch a movie. I mysteriously ate other Pringles, but the dude ate like 2 cans of Olestra Pringles and shat his brains out.
Awful.
It was.
You know what else is awful? What is this Video Angel service Johnny's talking about? It's like in South Park, the movie, where it takes all of the good things out. And just like, it's like, oh, that never happened.
Wait, what?
Check the comments,
Oh, wait,
bro.
okay, where are
Video
we?
Angel. It cuts out the good stuff.
Yeah, have you never heard of Video Angel? God, do I have to educate everybody on movie stuff? So let me.
I've lived like a...
Where? Okay, Johnny Dalton, my cousin's wife, subscribes to Video Angel. So, okay, Video Angel, what this is it's a service that is predominantly backed by conservative Christian America. And what it does is they do, like, essentially fan edits of popular movies like Batman and other stuff that has like curse words and maybe a nudie scene or two and maybe a little bit of gun violence, and they cut all that stuff out because, I mean, what Bible loving ding dong doesn't still want to go see Batman? You know, it's like, it's Batman.
Yeah, but they have Bible Man.
Well, have you seen Bible Man?
Yeah.
He's nothing compared to... I used to have a Bible Man action figure that a friend gave me as a cherished gift. But yeah, Video Angel, and they cut all that stuff out so you can not feel so left out of really good, awesome content.
Blessed.
Yeah.
There's your comeback slogan for Olestra.
Yeah, Olestra. I miss that shit. Anyway, wow. And yes, going back to the comments, Vince, that is the first genuine spit take ever recorded on film here in Driving Speakerbox. So anyway, let us there's other stuff that I probably should have talked about, but no, there's only one thing that there's plenty of things we could talk about. Only one that it really matters, because we do have to tell you what's coming out on theaters and stuff. Have you seen the trailer to My Name is Dolomite?
No.
It dropped this week, and it is wonderful. It's going to be in select theaters, but also on Netflix. Eddie Murphy returning to Rated R, playing the role of Rudy Ray Moore, the man, the myth, the legend, Dolomite himself, born and raised in Fort Smith, Arkansas, just 40 minutes away from here. Rudy Ray Moore was an incredible pioneer, a writer, a producer, a comedian, an actor. Like, just this dude did it all, and he was hysterical and super down to earth. And in the time of blaxploitation cinema, he found, he kind of went against this. The system was against him because he wasn't like tall. He wasn't like athletic. He wasn't, he wasn't in shape, but he still wanted to be a movie star. And this is the story of him making Dolomite. And Eddie Murphy is playing Rudy Ray Moore. I mean, Wesley Snipes is going to be in it. It is just like this all-star ensemble cast. And the trailer looks fantastic. And I cannot be more excited to see this movie. A, because I'm a huge fan of that era. The music, all of that stuff. Snoop Dogg's in it. And so it is really great to see Eddie Murphy, who has been wanting to for years to return to R-rated comedy. But, if you read interviews with him and you see all this kind of stuff, he kind of went silent after all of this, after you do Shrek, and you kind of get pigeonholed in a lot of these, like, in the clumps, and he became a household name. And it's like, once you become a household name, you can't just go around dropping the F-bomb all the time.
That's how he became a household name.
Well, household for the kids. Like, it's kind of like Bob.
That was how I knew him as a kid.
Well, it was like how Bob Saget.
Delirious.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
I watched Bob Saget stand up.
So Bob Saget, before he hit Full House, like, whoa.
The Aristocrats.
Dude. Like, Bob Saget is a filthy human.
Yeah.
But then when he hit Full House, it's like all of that public, he had to kind of keep that in check.
Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel, another one that had some crazy, filthy, hilarious comedy. But then Bobby's World and like all of these other things happened. And then
Louis Anderson,
another great example of people that were just hysterically R-rated. That once they hit in that kids market, their publicist was like,
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen's another one. Paul Rubens.
You know who never changed though? Robin Williams.
Yeah, dude.
How about that? It worked out.
But then he killed himself.
Okay, well that was recent.
And actually, that was the anniversary 5 years ago yesterday, wasn't it? Or today?
It's already been 5 years.
It's already been 5 years, man.
Crazy.
Shout outs to Robin Williams. That dude, on an important note, like, depression's real, entertainment's hard. If someone is crying for help, give them the help they need. Robin Williams, fucking love that guy. Somebody on YouTube said, I wish Sam Kinison would have gotten his own animated series. Me too. That would have been horrible to listen to.
I was about to say, how much?
Just screaming. Okay. That's it for current events. We need to talk about movies that are coming out in theaters this week because there's a bunch of them. So first up, we've got Angry Birds 2, or Angry Birds the Movie 2, coming out, opening on the 14th. So a little bit early there.
Actually, Amazon's banner today said that opens tomorrow.
What? It's getting a Tuesday? The 13th? So maybe, okay, I guess if it's 9 and 10 o'clock shows that run into the midnight 11:59, then you can release it even a day early. So yeah, Angry Birds, and you saw the Angry Birds movie. You reviewed it on the show, didn't you?
I don't know if I reviewed it on the show. I did watch it. Yeah.
Oh well, I think
because I watched it. No, I think it was on like.
I remember watching it from the year that I can't remember what year the first one came out.
I watched it on TV though, or like on Netflix.
But
or something. I didn't.
I remember watching it because I had to watch it to see if it would fall into my worst movies of the year list.
I think that's why I watched it too.
And it didn't quite make it there. It was because I remember the review. It was just so meh. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It just exists.
No, but Jason Sudeikis is kind of funny.
I do like Jason. Is it Sudeikis or Sudeikis?
Sudeikis.
Are you sure about that?
They say it out loud at the beginning of every SNL episode he was ever on.
Can't he just get like, I'm just going to call him Jason Sudoku, and like that's his name now. I'm sorry, Jason, but deal with it.
That's another word no one ever says right. Sudoku. They always say Sodoku. Or
Sodoku?
Soduko.
What?
Who are you people that do that?
Yeah, you're wrong. Sounds like a character from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Sodaku. Yeah, I don't know. He was a waterbender. Angry Birds 2, the movie. It's if you enjoy the app, then I'm sure that this movie will be enthralling to your children who need 96 minutes to kill. So there you go. Also coming out in theaters. I'm so glad it's finally coming out in theaters because I don't have to watch this trailer again in the theater. And it is Good Boys from Gene Stupinski, some of the producers of Superbad and all of those films. It is basically a younger version of Superbad. It is young tween boys cursing and playing with condoms and tampons. The movie. And have you not seen this trailer a million times?
I've seen multiple trailers.
They're like, "What's this tampon for?" And they're like, "Girls put up their butts to stop babies." And it's like, okay, I kind of chuckled the first time I heard it, but now that I've heard it like 9 million trillion times, like, oh, I'm so tired of the trailer for this movie. I'll probably see it because there's nothing else in theaters that I really want to see. And I've seen everything else that I do want to see, so that'll probably be next week's review. Good Boys coming out in theaters this weekend. Also coming out in theaters this weekend, I don't understand this one. A sequel, 47 Meters Down, Uncaged.
It's like a shark movie. You can make just infinite sequels to shark
Have
movies.
you seen the trailer to this?
I have.
It's
I've seen like an extended trailer because they're like in like a weird temple.
Incan temple under the water, which it's like one part Descent, which is an amazing horror movie, and then one part like Deep Blue Sea, which is not an amazing horror movie.
What?
And then,
bruh, have you ever seen Deep Blue Sea?
have you ever seen the LL Cool J rap video, My Hat Is Like a Shark's Fin?
Is that one that he made for that movie?
Can we pull that up for like 20 seconds?
Bro, have you ever seen Thomas Jane be like super rad?
That's still the one where Samuel Jackson like comes out and goes, "I'm a famous person and I'm in this movie," and then his head immediately gets bitten off. Yeah, but
I remember watching that movie, and then me and my entire family, when he got in, were like, "What the hell? You can't kill Samuel L. Jackson."
and they did.
They did, straight up.
And they did.
And then like the main character chick, who you're like, "Oh, this is the hero of the movie." She's gonna nope, dead. Thomas Jane's the hero because he's the Punisher.
That is the only redeeming quality of that movie, is that it's so many bait and switches of like, who's gonna die? Well, everybody probably.
Nope, Thomas Jane and LL Cool J live.
Yeah, because LL Cool J had the song "My Hat Is Like a Shark's Fin," and can we have it?
He was the Will Smith of that movie.
Do we have the music video pulled up?
He was the Agent J.
Yeah, can we not pull Then I have a video for it. Is there not like a cool montage like on YouTube of like important moments and precious moments?
All right, Johnny pointed out that Samuel L. Jackson died in Jurassic Park.
But
it was off camera
after a very critical role.
Also, what if it was someone else's hand and she just assumed that it was Samuel L. Jackson's hand?
Yeah, she's like, all these hands look the same to me, and it just and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, gosh, we got to get this clip.
What are you talking about? You were talking about Deepest Blues, right?
Deep Blue Sea.
But the song, you wanted the song or the clip?
The LL Cool J's
Okay, because you were talking about
music
Samuel
video.
Jackson dying, so
No, I don't need to see a Samuel Jackson dying. We all know what that looked like. And Deep Blue. Oh God, there it is.
yeah, it's me kind of choppy.
Oh man, look at that. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at it. Just
Ooh, the claws and like the face that he
is
makes.
he doing like water polo? Ooh, peekaboo.
Oh, what?
I see you. Yeah. Oh, ladies love
Dude,
Cool J.
Hold on, it being choppy makes it better because
Even
it
better.
keeps freezing on like little like stupid poses that he has.
Those girls are doing water ballet. Look at this crap. Oh my gosh.
Cut the camera back to us. I'm doing my LL Cool J right now from the music video.
My hat is like a shark's fin, deepest bluest. Yeah.
And then that water.
It's like a Selsun Blue commercial.
Oh yeah, or like a York peppermint patty, or like a
deep
5 gum or something.
Deep Blue Selsun.
Yeah,
That's what it's going to be.
it's like a five gum commercial where it's like, what's it feel to be on the research facility? And it shows Sam Jackson get eaten by a shark, and then LL Cool J be like, Yeah.
Ice cold. But anyway, 47 meters down, Unchained, another shark movie. It's like 4 girls in bikinis that know how to scuba dive go into a scuba hole that's from the beach, if you've ever seen that movie. But underneath the beach is an Incan temple, like in From Dusk Till Dawn, if you've ever seen that movie, that houses
and they get like
blind
toilet flushed down into it.
Yeah, they get toilet flushed into an Incan temple that is inhabited by albino sharks that can't detect anything. So how did they live this long without eating? I don't know. How did they get that big? I don't know. They ate magic, Incan magic, all the hearts sacrificed on Incan chalk mules. Google it, it's history. And it drained down and made magic. Quetzalcoatl, I know that's not the right pronunciation, but they're
or culture.
Yeah, we're blending them. It's Inca and Mayan put together with sharks.
Wow, Mr. Look the Same over here.
Hey, dude, Inca Maya, come on, man. I don't know. It's all south of the border if you ask me, man. Oh, gun control. Let's get that wall in my right. Keep them Incans from coming over. Like, that's about as ridiculous as every time I turn on the news. Is that's what it sounds like. Complete stupidity.
If I did creepy things, I'd watch that movie though.
You want to go see it?
No.
What? Come on, man.
I said if.
What if it's at the drive-in? Would you still see it?
No, dude, my car battery can't last through the drive-in.
Come on. The drive-in is the perfect... Come on, dude. Drive-in's the perfect time to see a movie like that.
Yeah, except your back is open and exposed, and there's open
For
air.
sharks?
Land shark? Haven't you ever... We talked about SNL earlier. Do you not remember?
I know. All right, there's one more movie that's coming out in limited release. It's from director Richard Linklater. I wanted to mention this because I really, really enjoy Richard Linklater films. He has a way with dialogue that just... people just don't understand, but I don't know if you're not familiar with him. He has done a lot of different stuff: Waking Life, Before Midnight, Scanner Darkly, Boyhood. Like, Richard Linklater is a really, really, really cool dude. I'd say probably one of my favorite films of his, though, is what was it? Not School of Rock, because let's get that out of here. But yeah,
not the successful one.
Not that one. That one's stupid. Yeah, Suburbia was good. Dazed and Confused is Slacker is good. I really like Richard Linklater. But anyway, his new movie is coming out. Where'd You Go, Bernadette, starring Cate Blanchett and Kristen Wiig and Judy Greer, coming out in limited release this weekend. So maybe you can check that one out. Yeah, there you go. That's what's coming out in theaters this weekend.
Also, the Bruce Springsteen movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. So it's the Beatles movie, but with Bruce Springsteen, but without time travel.
Alternate reality.
Travel. A lot of music stuff. But yeah, that one's coming out as well. All right, here we go. You want to talk about some movies? You want to talk about scary stories? You want to talk about them? Do you want to get spooky, my dude?
Did you bring the flame change dust?
Yeah, that's Are You Afraid of the Dark, which I know you are, but that's a different different beast altogether. Okay, so Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Everyone's like, yeah, Guillermo del Toro, but he did not direct this movie. He was executive producer on this movie, which he used his vast amount of connections to help make this movie actually pretty interesting. The one sentence I'm going to give you at the beginning, I actually really enjoyed this movie. This movie was a really cool throwback to spooky, creepy, atmospheric horror that didn't have to go all in on gory deaths, didn't have to go in on jump scares, was just spooky and kind of borrowing, of course, out of everybody's, like, the Stranger Things and It playbook. Honestly, I think it did the creepiness factor a little bit better than It. Like, it was a relatively young cast, but the interesting thing about this movie is no one was safe. You know, some of the main characters got by these monsters.
They got Game of Thrones, some GOT, because that's how that works.
We will see. I will get to that in a minute. But one of the really, really cool things about this movie is, and this is where Guillermo del Toro lends his expertise is that it was very, very important to them that they do not go bonkers with the CGI. I mean, there was obviously a few things that definitely needed some CGI, like the Janky Man or whatever, where he bends over, contorted, all crazy. But for the most part, a lot of these were all very practical effects. There's actually a really small 1 minute long featurette on YouTube that Fandango did about one of the main character, or like one of the most iconic drawings from the first story of the corpse, the one that's looking for its toe, and how they made that character come to life, and using a particular actor by the name of Javier Botet, because he's really tiny and skinny, and it was all just practical, like prosthetic effects and makeup, and just seeing him even in bright light sitting in the makeup chair and watching him like adjust the jaw, it was just incredibly terrifying. And some of the creature effects in this movie were just hands down super, super awesome. You know, a lot of these were, you know, it was very important to them because one of the most iconic things about those books, which of course it was a collection of horror stories by author Alvin Schwartz, but I think more notably, and that left that impression on a lot of young minds, was the illustrations by Stephen Gamel. And these illustrations have just terrorized youth for decades. And, you know, these stories, while like safe for children, are still really dark and still very spooky. And, you know, paired with these illustrations, you know, there's a reason that these books are legendary, and there's several of them. That is kind of one of my biggest complaints about this movie.
Even more scary stories.
Yeah, they did. The ending, they didn't really stick the landing the way I wanted it to. They kind of left it open for a little bit of a sequel. But
Well, now hold on, because stories and all of these things, was it not done as like an anthology?
no. And here's where I got really kind of like my bar was set kind of low. I was like, "Ugh, how are you going to adapt something that is just an anthology of stories into one overarching narrative?" And they managed to do it in a really unique way while trying to, you know, this is a PG-13 film, so it is aimed at a younger audience. And one of the things that this movie does well that I will praise it for is something that I can't stand in a lot of movies right now doing it poorly, is this heavy-handedness PC bullshit, where it's like kind of like we were talking about Young Justice off camera earlier with the producer over here at the labs, and how the new season of Outsiders has just become almost non sequitur weird PC. It's like, let's pause for a moment to make sure you guys all know how PC we're trying to be right now so that no one blasts us on Twitter. And, you know, and it pulls you out of the story. And this handles those topics. It handles Vietnam. It handles, like, one of the characters is Hispanic living in, you know, 1960s, 70s America, where, you know, if your name was Rodriguez and you were a draft dodger, then you were in a lot of trouble, bro. And, you know, people didn't like you. People looked at you funny. And they handled all of these things, like, you know, being female and being a minority and being all these stuff with such a natural way of doing it that was like you understood how it was wrong. And we can look at that and we can take that information and go, oh, man, like, we need to be better. But without just hitting you over the head with a cartoon frying pan, you know what I mean? And so the story felt very natural, and this assembling of these what is a very diverse, like almost comedically diverse group of friends made it feel very normal, so like it's supposed to.
During this assembling, did they have all of the female characters join together on screen at the same time without discussing it ahead of time?
Nope.
So that they could combat one of the villains together for 5 seconds?
Not at all.
Oh.
It was one of these things that everybody was very relatable. Everything was very normal and organic.
Do that.
But the way they tied it in was a story. It was this ghost in this haunted house that was writing all these stories, and these stories will in turn, like, you know, be about people, and then they come to life. And so it's this vengeful spirit that's writing these stories about other people that she's taking her vengeance on, and then it manifests and kills this person. And so, you know, I don't want to give too many spoilers away.
Like a literal ghost writer.
It's not a spoiler. The spoiler is how they resolve it, which is actually really interesting. And it's kind of a the movie is a classic ghost story, which is what I like about it. Some people go, "Well, it wasn't scary enough," and it's like, dude, you mean gory? Like, there's a difference between gory and scary. Did it make you jump a whole bunch? No. Was it spooky AF? Absolutely. It was a great campfire story about campfire stories, and that was kind of neat how they weaved it together.
See, that's one of the big things that turned me off from horror, because as a kid I was really into things like this, but jump scares, I was like, no, can't do that.
There's none of them.
Because I don't like shock, just like, yeah, like I don't like that kind of a thing, like if something was creepy, I'd be like, I don't like this, but I'd sit there and watch it.
Well, and that's what this does.
Jumps out at you, I don't like that.
Well, the thing about a good ghost story is it's atmosphere building. That's what makes a ghost story creepy and fun. It's not it's dark and someone goes boo and gets you. That's muscle response. Okay. But I think a lot of people have forgotten the art of creating a spooky atmosphere where you don't need to make someone jump to make them like want to turn the light on, to make them want to look under the bed, to make them when they get home at night like, well, I'm just going to leave this. I'm going to fall asleep with the TV on right now.
Or like when you watch Jaws as a kid and you don't even want to use the bathroom afterward.
You don't want to swim in the deep end ever. There's not a shark in 7 feet of pool, but you ain't going.
But do you know?
Do you know there is a little drain in the bottom of that pool, and a 20-foot shark could come out of there at any moment?
I didn't like the bathtub. I didn't like the toilet after Jaws, and I'd watch it endlessly, though, even though I knew that afterward I'd be like, water. Just like, no.
It's got sharks in it. So to Dina on YouTube, to her comment, she says she never read the books, and the trailers are vague, so she's really excited about it. And so here's the thing. Keep in mind that this is PG-13. Okay? This is aimed at a wider audience, so it's not going to be like It Volume 2. There's not going to be any crazy weird. But, dude, the monsters are amazing. The story is pretty good. The characters, some of them are a little obnoxious, but for the most part are really, like, believable.
Are they better than...
And it takes place on Halloween.
Are they better than the last handful of Guillermo del Toro, like, practical effects things? Like,
they outdid themselves.
Because Hellboy 2 was... Ugh.
The creature effects in this, they look identical to the illustrations, which is the coolest thing. And the one complaint I do have about it is the way they kind of ended it up with opening it up to a sequel, making this sort of open-ended ending like maybe the consequences aren't the ones that we experienced in the film. Like, it was a question mark ending that, the 80s cheese ball, like, sort of, camp horror mastered the art of the question mark ending, where like the hand comes out of the ground at the end. It's like, the end, question mark.
The hand makes a question mark.
And I think it kind of wanted to try and do that, because I don't really think we're going to see a sequel to this. I don't know, although it is doing pretty well at the box office. But I enjoyed it, man. I wish I was like, why didn't this movie come out in like September or October? But then I realized
Disney's going to be back in the theater.
Disney's going to be in the theater. We also have It Part 2 coming out. It's up against a lot of stuff. And so I'm to answer another comment on YouTube, I hope we're not getting a Scary Story universe. But if it makes enough money, we're going to get a universe out of everything.
Dude, I want to answer another one of Johnny's questions when he asked if I said Ghost Rider or Ghost Writer. Well, Ghost Writer is like the ethereal author that he's talking about. Ghost Rider is like that one that gives Aykroyd a beeger in The Busters.
Or when...
You know what I'm saying?
Was it?
You get it?
That's a ride.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah.
Or what about when Nicolas Cage peed fire? That's a Ghost Rider. You remember that in Ghost Rider 2? Spirit of Vengeance.
Who watched Ghost Rider 2? That one didn't have Sam Elliott as a cowboy Ghost Rider in it. There's no reason to watch that.
I saw it in the theater, and he peed fire. And he went like with his peener.
What?
Yeah. Can we get a clip of that?
No. Can we not do that?
I mean, we probably should get a clip of Ghost Rider peeing fire, or at least a GIF. Can we get a GIF? There's no copyrights on GIFs.
You're like, this is what I want to see right now.
I mean, it's not like you look at his skeleton penis. Like humans don't even have bacula. Google it.
Scott does.
Well, weird. Is that where he gets his name? Is penis bone?
Wow.
Yeah, bacula is a penis bone. For those of you that don't know, we're one of a lot of mammals have them. We don't. Okay, here we go. There it is. Choppy, but yeah. They're peeing that fire. Well, that was a weird clip, but
so 2 seconds long.
It's 2 second long. But you get the idea if you're watching the live stream. There it is. If you're watching the podcast, just use your imagination. It's like gonorrhea, but different.
What?
Burns when you pee, man.
I thought you were talking about the live stream.
No. Watching our live stream's a lot like having gonorrhea.
Wow.
All right. So there you go. That Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is out in theaters right now. You can check it out. It's a lot of fun. So yeah. All right. It's about that time to do the box office roundup. You guys ready? You guys ready to know what made money? There was a lot of new releases in theaters this week. A lot of limited releases coming out, taking the lower spots, but a lot of competition for Fast and Furious and Lion King, which had been dominating for the past 2 weekends. But let's go ahead and start with number 10 and move our way up to number 1. These are all domestic numbers, so that means here in the United States, because that's what the big money bigwigs care about. We'll start with number 10 with Bring the Soul, the movie. From Trafalgar Pictures, bringing in $2.3 million, only in 800 theaters nationwide, dropping bottle caps for your little Coronitas.
Is it Trafalgar or is it Trafalgar?
Trafalgar, I don't know. It's tomatoes, dude. It's tomatoes, bruh. Whatever, man. So Dina wants everybody to know Fantasy Movie League. She wants us to make an announcement. We do have a Drive-In Speakerbox Fantasy Movie League that Dina, one of our fans and viewer of the show, has dominated and is actually ranked in, I think, the top 100 players in the world or something. So shout outs to Dina over there. She's on our YouTube page right now, commenting out there. I think we have a league. It's the Drive-In Speakerbox. I haven't picked films in a while because Dina kicks my ass every single time. But anyway, here we go. Shout outs to Fantasy Movie League. Number 9, Toy Story 4 from Buena Vista, bringing in $4.5 million in its 8th weekend release, $419 million nationwide return. Number 8, Spider-Man Far From Home from Sony, bringing in $5.2 million in its 6th weekend release. $160 million budget has brought it up to $370 million nationwide, and as we reported last week, it did cross the billion threshold, so Marvel will control the rights to Spider-Man for at least another movie, but we will keep you posted on that. Number 7, opening up at the number 7 spot, The Kitchen.
Ouch.
Ooh, that's a rough one. Warner Bros. Bringing in $5.5 million in over 2,700 theaters nationwide. That is a sad.
You think maybe with this they'll quit putting Tiffany Haddish in lead roles and maybe cool it on Melissa McCarthy a little bit?
You know, the Melissa McCarthy movie that didn't get the accolades it needed was the one where she was that Ghost Rider. You remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
She was great in that, but it's like, no, we got to have her being funny and goofy and saying sassy crap. Let's see here. We've got it made $5.5 million in its opening weekend, $38 million budget. That's pretty rough. Number 6, The Art of Racing in the Rain from Fox. We talked about that one the other day. $8.1 million in its opening weekend. Number 5, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood from Sony, bringing in $11.6 million in its 3rd weekend release. $90 million budget has crossed it over the $100 million mark, so it's doing okay. Number 4, opening up at number 4, The Grip was supposed to go see it, but he didn't.
Man, I just could not make myself do it. I had stuff to do this weekend. I didn't feel great, and the idea of forcing myself to watch a live action Dora the Explorer where I've never even watched the cartoon or whatever, it
was too much. It was too much for him.
You know, I started watching the new season of Glow instead.
And how was that?
Not bad. I'm getting real hyped on the next installment of the Olympus Has Fallen series. So I watched Law Abiding Citizen. He had to get amped about Gerard Butler.
Law-abiding citizen. Deep cut. Hadn't thought of that one in a while.
So I did those things instead.
Well, so on that note,
Danny Trejo plays the monkey.
Number 4, Dora and the Lost City of Gold, from Paramount, bringing in $17.4 million in its opening weekend, $49 million budget. So not a terrible opening, but not a terribly good one either. Number 3, The Lion King from Buena Vista, bringing in another $20 million at the box office in its 4th weekend release, bringing it up to $473 million. Did you hear that Disney's already talking about making an Aladdin live-action sequel?
Sequel? No, we don't need another King of Thieves or whatever the stupid live-action nonsense movies were, because there were 2 or 3.
There were 3, yeah.
Robin Williams did not return for the first sequel, and then they just threw every bit of Disney money at him to get him to come back for one of the later ones, because the genie voice not being there was really killing
super
them.
awkward, yeah.
What does this mean? They're going to make the live-action Timon and Pumbaa TV show or something?
We will see. Yeah, Return of Jafar.
Can you believe that Lion King made more money than friggin' Spider-Man in less time?
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Unreal.
I can. It's super sad. But it made another $20 million. 4 weeks is $473 million for The Lion King. Number 2, opening up at the number 2 mark, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark from Lionsgate, bringing in $20.9 million up against its budget of only $25. So, yeah, we'll probably see a sequel to that. Doing pretty well right there for Lionsgate, but still not able to top the number 1 movie in America, which is...
Dude, Fast and Furious, man. Talking about Hobbs and Shaw. Killing it.
But is it a Fast and Furious movie?
No.
Bold words,
but, it's still fun, man. There was one car. They zipped, and they zagged, and they did drifting, and they did cool maneuvers, and... It was fun, man.
They did a cool maneuver to get another $25.2 million.
You made fun of how sun rises on Samoa, even though you've never been there?
Yeah, sunrise is apparently directly above head at 6:52.
Dude, have you ever been on a Pacific island in the southern hemisphere in your life ever? Exactly.
I know that when it's dark, that means the sun is over the horizon line. And I know that when the sun is directly overhead, that is several hours past when the sun crests the horizon line, because the way that the Earth rotates on its axis around said sun, which they did not take into consideration. So, anyway.
I'm just saying you don't know.
Anyway, $25.2 million up against a budget of $200, bringing in $108 million domestically.
Still has a ways to go.
It does, but it had a worldwide gross of $223 additional dollars, so making that a $331 complete total gross of Fast and Furious Presents, Hobbs, ampersand Shaw.
I think the hard part for it, though, is that it takes place after the next movie that has yet to be released.
Ooh, baiting you with the content.
Yeah, so a lot of the setup and story aren't there and are confusing because it delayed, that movie being made delayed the movie that was supposed to precede it.
What is it? Is it Taye Diggs that's in? Not Taye Diggs. It's Tyrese Gibson. Have you seen the beef that he's got with The Rock? Oh,
yeah,
man,
it's because
some funny stuff.
Because this movie delayed the production of 9, and he had a whole big Instagram thing and Twitter thing and all these deals hating on The Rock real hardcore, and apparently he only agreed to sign on to film number 9 if Hobbs does not make an appearance in the movie.
Love Tyrese.
So that's why they had to expand on Hobbs even more in Hobbs and Shaw, is because he is not going to have a place in the next numbered installment in the franchise.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Also, The Rock does not like Vin Diesel. And so there's that. So 2 of the guys that have been in there since the beginning, and then The Rock, and don't get along.
Drama. Yeah,
but you know what? That generates press, and that makes it where people like us talk about it, and that makes it where you watch the movies just to see what'll happen.
Cash money millionaires. All right, guys. Well, that is our show. Just noticed one more comment on YouTube. They just now noticed my shirt. I'll just give that one out there for the people in the back row. My shirt says, "Remember when RoboCop shot that dude in the dick." All right. Well, that's it. We're gonna get out of here.
Do you remember when I was like, "Raw"?
I did. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Find us on Facebook or YouTube. You can watch the show live, or you can subscribe to the podcast on any of your podcast aggregators, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.